position. I see, I could understand what Cotto's going through right now, and this fight means so much for him.
All right. Final instructions. Here are the rules. Unified rules of boxing. 10-point must-scoring system. No standing 8 count. No 3 knockdown rules. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. Only the referee can stop the fight. If we get any accidental fouls, we'll explain that to you if it becomes pertinent during the course of the fight. In the red trunks with the green and white trim, the colors of the flag of Mexico, Mexico's Antonio Margarito, and decked out in the blue, white, and gold, Miguel Cotto, the pride of Caguas in Puerto Rico.
And Colonel, the 2 early questions for me. A, does the emotion that has been overflowing affect either fighter? Margarito looks awfully cool. I don't think it's going to affect him. And secondly, does Margarito's right eye become a factor at any point in the fight?
Well, I think that's a more possibility. I don't think either one of these guys will be shaken by the crowd. Cotto has drawn huge crowds here before. Margarito was on the big stage when he fought Pacquiao. But in that fight, I thought at the end of the fight, and this is his first fight back since then because of the orbital eye injury, would he ever be the same again? And so we have to find that out tonight. These guys do not like each other. Cotto called Margarito a liar. Margarito said in terms of the hand wraps that, you know, he didn't have his hands juiced up, but none of that's important right now. They're in there right now under more highly scrutinized hands than anybody in the history of boxing, and this is round 1 in Madison Square Garden. Juan, you've been in this position before coming into Madison Square Garden to fight. What's in the mind of these fighters right now, sort of feeling each other out in the early going?
Well, right now, you know, I guess Cotto is trying to see what Margarito has, you know, and his power, really, because he didn't know, you know, from the last time that he had that, whatever that he had in his glove or in his wraps. But right now, Cotto is being smart. I think he's being too careful. You know, if I was him, I wouldn't show Margarito no respect at all. I would have jumped all over him and you know, this is my time of redemption. This is my time to pay you back for what you did to me.
All right, the words of the former featherweight champion of the world, Juan Laporte. Both guys exchanging shots here in the opening round. There was some talk earlier that Margarito would take his time because his cornerman, Robert Garcia, was working the previous fight, but he came out right on time as scheduled. So all the pre-fight hype is done. But I'll tell you this, anytime Cotto does anything, the crowd reaction here, which is impossible to explain to you, just like that, they really, really make it exciting.
Well, they've had reason to be happy so far because Cotto's boxing very well. You know, early in his career, we thought of him as a left hooker. Tonight, his jab is getting off, and he's landing his right hand.
You know, what I don't like too much is the jumping movement. You know, I mean, how long can you do this? The fight is going to be 12 rounds.
Right.
You need to save some energy. So, I'm just curious about what Cotto's thinking right now.
It's a good point because in the first fight, Cotto boxed very well, just like this, for 5 rounds, and then he got overwhelmed.
Well, Margarito can be an intimidating guy. We talked about him training in that altitude in Mexico City, so he can go 12 rounds. And he was outside of Mexico City in the mountains at 14,000 feet. The bell ends round number 1. All right, we get ready to go to round number 2. Margarito decked out in the red, green, and white. Miguel Cotto in the blue trunks. Remember in that last fight, in spite of all the talk of the hand wrap, Margarito did win the fight. So Cotto has something to prove here. Margarito feels he does too. He wants to beat him up just as bad so he can say definitively, see, I told you there's nothing in those gloves. Steve Smoger says, keep the hands up, guys. Crowd doesn't like any interruption in this fight. Predominantly Puerto Rican crowd here for Miguel Cotto.
And interesting, the first punch Margarito threw after that warning for Cotto for punching low was a left hand to the body. Remember, Cotto with a new trainer, Pedro Diaz, first time with him, replacing Emmanuel Stewart.
That's right. Of course, Pedro is a very famous Cuban trainer that trained a lot of great fighters, so this is something new. And we asked Cotto about that yesterday. Emmanuel Stewart was sitting there and he said, no, nothing personal at all. I'm still friends with Manny. I didn't want to go to Detroit to train. Look at this.
this is what I was talking about. When Cotto he hits you with 2 shots, why not hit you with 4 or 5? Why stop? Every time he hits Margarito with 2 shots, he looks back to look pretty.
Well, one, Margarito's got a good rep as a guy that can take punishment. So I don't think he thinks he's going to blow him out in 2-3 rounds.
There's the head in the face of Margarito. And that'll happen from time to time in this fight because of the difference in height. Remember, Margarito's 3 inches taller than Cotto.
Cotto's clearly trying to box in a little bit of a circle. Margarito has trouble with moving targets.
And that's why Pedro Luis has him moving.
That's good, man.
Nice
good
combination there, yeah.
That's what he has to do all night. That's throw a couple of combinations like that and move if you're going to move.
Move to the side, right? He's getting out. He's not getting hit.
He's landing clear shots in his Margarito through the first round and into the second round. There's a nice combination there. You wanted a bunch of punches, Juan Laporte. You got him there.
So tell him to throw some more.
Couple of uppercuts on the inside, not real damage done. Looping right hand by Margarito. Right back comes Cotto with his quick 2-punch combination, and then back he goes. Margarito to the left of your screen in red with the red shoes, the big tall guy. Tattoos on his chest and on his back. Margarito with that fancy tattoo on his right side and on his left shoulder. Cotto tries to jab, and then a nice slip move there as he pushes him by. He goes by him and tries to reset himself up again. Kind of a heavy blow on the inside there. They caught Cotto to the solar plexus.
Good right hand by Margarito, his best punch of the fight, but not his best round. And we take a look at action from round 2. Margarito with a very effective left hand to the body in that exchange. And then later in the round, Cotto with a big combination. And that's Miguel Cotto's son and Cotto's wife to the son's right. That son's into it.
He certainly is.
That's my dad.
as is every other Puerto Rican, including
in the world.
Our good man next to us, Juan Laporte.
Did we ask Juan Laporte who he's rooting for in this fight?
Yeah. All right, here we go. This is round 3. Scheduled, of course, for the championship number of rounds 12. Again, in the red trunks, it's Antonio Margarito from Mexico, wearing the colors of the Mexican flag, and Miguel Cotto decked out in the blue and yellow. By the way, Cotto is 16-2 in world championship fights. He's had 157 championship rounds. Only losses.
A cut. Right eye of Margarito.
Margarito cut already. Was that a punch?
Yes.
I believe so. I didn't see a butt.
See the heads come together either.
But it's specifically important because it's the right eye.
Yeah, and don't forget, up until a week ago, the New York State Athletic Commission didn't sanction Cotto because of the problem with his right orbital bone that was operated on after the Pacquiao fight. And it's cut already. They had all kinds of eye doctors and experts check him over to make sure he was clean to fight. And he's already cut by that right eye, and he's almost squinting down. So Margarito has suffered something that Cotto wanted him to suffer early in this fight, and it happened early in the 3rd round.
Well, if you're rooting for Margarito, you're hoping he comes on in the second half. But if Cotto does enough damage in the first half, there won't be a rally. And damage to that eye, well, the corner, the doctors are going to be very, very concerned about that.
Well, with all of the discussions and everything that went on with the New York State Athletic Commission, they're not going to let this guy lose an eye in this fight. Here's Margarito trying to battle back. Cotto tries to keep the pressure on him, and this is what they came for. Back and forth, they seesaw back and forth, both guys.
He hurt Margarito with the left hook.
Cotto just sharper with his punches and more powerful with his punches.
Much more powerful. He spun the head that time with the left hook. Margarito shakes his head no, but that's his style to do that. Another left hook. Right hand on top of that left eye. Hooks up around the right eye. Things are going very well for Cotto right now. Cotto doing a nice job with Evander Holyfield used to say, parrying punches, pushing them off with the back of his hands. Margarito tries to hold inside. They always try to land something inside, but look who gets off first with the heavier blows. Again, it's Cotto. Cotto doing a great job sliding to his left, now back to his right, trying to set things up, trying to take away the vision of that left eye with his left hand, and then he drops the right hand on top of it.
Very disciplined performance by Cotto.
A good turn, too. I like that. Very disciplined. Not letting the crowd go to his head right now.
And we think this is what opened that cut over the right eye of Margarito.
There you go. Oh, it was
wow, that was almost a thumb, huh?
Yeah.
A tearing sort of blast.
And there were a lot of thudding shots by Cotto that followed. But the punch, it seemed as if Cotto's left glove slid. Now, of course, there aren't thumbs on the gloves anymore. They're attached. That's
young Master Cotto. All right, here we go. This is round 4. So cut by the right eye of Margarito, and that's the bad eye of Margarito, the one that had the broken orbital bone. And this Cotto, he'll be gunning for that. You can be sure he starts right away with 2 snapping lefts right on top of it in the start of the 4th round.
Margarito smiling throughout this carnage. Keep in mind how much punishment he took when Pacquiao beat him up. He can take a lot of shots.
Yeah, he can take a lot of punishments for sure. There's a right hand on top of the right eye. Margarito keeps shaking his head. No, no, no. He better answer with his fist instead of his grin.
That's right. No, no, no in boxing. When you shake your head, it means yes, yes, yes. The punch landed.
His face already looks kind of messy. You talked about a disciplined fight, Steve. That's a great comment because that's exactly what Cotto's doing. He's not letting this prohibitive crowd that's with him take him out of his fight plan to outbox this guy.
Great point.
And all of that aggressiveness there by Margarito, nothing significantly landed.
Cotto refuses to be pinned against the ropes.
And that's smart for him. He doesn't want to get caught up against the ropes against this wild man. Margarito likes to hurt opponents. And he can. He landed a pretty good right hand that time. Cotto doing a nice job parrying again with these punches. He has those gloves up high, and he's blocking a lot of stuff that Margarito's throwing. Watch that head. If I'm Margarito, I don't want that head bouncing around any place near that right eye. But the left hooks do more damage.
That looks like the old Miguel Cotto, that left hook.
Yeah, that's the one he should be throwing.
And here comes Margarito, Colonel.
Now, there's no quitting this guy. There's no question about it. Look at these. There's a combination of the 4 punches that Juan Laporte likes off the hands of Miguel Cotto. Cotto so far, in my opinion, fighting the perfect disciplined fight.
I agree. But remember, in terms of the length of this fight, Margarito knows that last time he fought Cotto, he lost 5 rounds, and he still won the fight.
That's right.
He has that confidence that only a victory can give you.
But since then, and a question coming into this fight, when you take a beating like he took from Pacquiao, are you ever the same?
Right.
And a lot of that has to do with this fight. His attitude is the same. His training discipline is the same. But he's not having a very good fight right now. But all that can change with one big shot. Because this guy will not quit, that's for sure. Cotto will either beat him to submission, hurt his eye where it has to be stopped, or knock him out. It's the only way he's going up, one of those 3 ways. In other words, he's going out in his shield.
Right.
Just the 4th round and a lot of action in this fight. The crowd absolutely loves it here in Madison Square Garden. That ends the 4th. All right, we're getting ready to go to the 5th round of a scheduled 12-round affair. At stake, the WBA Super Welterweight Championship of the World, the 154-pound division, or the junior middleweight division, 154. Reigning champ Miguel Cotto. Don't forget Antonio Margarito is a 3-time world champ in his own right. Double jab. Cotto won the title back after he lost to Margarito. His only losses were to Margarito back in July of 08. In November of 09, he was stopped by Manny Pacquiao in the 12th round. In June of 10, he beat Yuri Foreman, a 9th round TKO. In March this year, defended that title that he won that night against Ricardo Mayorga. Every time Cotto does anything, the crowd almost comes to they come to a thrilling cheer. I don't know how else to describe it.
They love what they've seen so far. Now, Cotto's backing up here, but he's backing up with lateral movement.
Just as you mentioned that, he does exactly what you said with the lateral movement as he slid back to his right. Backing up. He'll set himself, though. Now, that time he tried to go by him and push him by, which is a slick boxing move. Caught him on top of that left eye again. It's the right eye that's the problem eye for Margarito. He was cut back in the 3rd round. We're in the 5th. Midway point, Cotto lands a combination. Margarito keeps saying, no. You better answer with your fist, my friend.
Remember, in the pre-fight hype, Margarito was telling Cotto, you hit like a girl. I wonder if he still feels that way.
I doubt it. But, he's still trying to play the head game.
Yeah.
But, I want to ask you about that, Juan Laporte. Once the fight starts, I know when I played ball, I wasn't a boxer, but when I played ball, once the game started, all the rest of the stuff didn't matter anymore.
Nah, man. Well, once you're in there, everything changes. It's up to you what you want to do. If Cotto, feels all the confidence in the world that he could take this guy, he could do it. But right now, I don't know what he's thinking. He hurts him, and he don't jump on top of him. I mean, it's only, you got an advantage when you hurt somebody to take him out. Do it, because you don't know what's going to happen in the next round.
You want to see Guardian Ward every round of every fight.
I want to see, what you feel. It's just what I feel inside.
Yeah. Well, that's why we have you here from the champ's perspective. Steve and I love the sport. We've been around a long time. We know a lot of the fighters. We know a lot about the game. But we haven't been in the ring. For real, anyway.
And the fans are thankful for that.
Exactly.
Well, you can see Margarito's face. He's getting a little frustrated.
He's frustrated. He tries to get that jab out, loads up the right hand again. Cotto ducks underneath him, but that ends the 5th round. Another Cotto round.
Miguel Cotto, very effective. There he takes a nice little spin step. Margarito says, yeah, you got nothing, but we know better. And there, Cotto within punching range for Margarito, but nice job of keeping his hands up, parrying the blows, blocking the blows. And that's why we give Cotto this 5th round, because 2 or 3 solid shots he landed were flush. And Margarito landed nothing of the sort.
This is round 6, Madison Square Garden, New York City. Colonel Bob Sheridan here with Steve Farhad and Juan Laporte. Hope wherever you're watching around the world that you're enjoying it. Sunday afternoon down there in New Zealand. My old pal Georgie Calvert tuned in, I know that, and all the boxing boys. Margarito and Cotto. Margarito in the red, trying to do something more offensively against this guy. We're into the 6th round now, and I've given Cotto every round. Cotto whacks him again with that left hand on top of that right eye. The right eye was cut of Margarito back in the 3rd round, but the corner's done an excellent job closing it out.
And if Cotto's effective with that jab, that right eye is where the jab will land.
And that'll wear that eye down as the rounds continue to slip by in each minute in every round. You see that? There was another jab right on top of it that time. Margarito doesn't seem that concerned about it because he's not holding his right hand up as high as what you'd think he would be doing. That time the heads came dangerously close together of Cotto bouncing that head off of that right eye of Margarito. Dangerously close. Steve Smolder lets him fight on the inside, which is good.
That's no good for Cotto right there because he's unable, to get a hit with an uppercut.
Well, you heard what the corner had to say in between rounds. Throw 3 or 4 uppercuts in a row. And I'm sure that's what Margarito would like to execute. Remember, last round was pretty close, and this round's fairly close. Those are 2 clean shots by Cotto. But Margarito's landed his share of punches. Both of these guys throw more punches per round than 30% of the guys in this 154-pound division. There's a lot of good fighters in the 154-pound rankings. And these guys throw 30% more punches per round. And they haven't stopped throwing punches.
Margarito is getting closer. Is that reason for concern for Cotto?
Look at him use that head a little bit, does Cotto. He missed his shots, although the crowd came to its feet.
With the blood, and you see, the thing is that Cotto is lipped. He's always have his mouth open, you know, even when he punches. When you take a punch, I used to bite into my mouthpiece. I used to close my mouth and bite into the mouthpiece.
Yeah, and when you have that mouth open, what you're saying is not only do you feel the punch more, but you could get a broken jaw. And you certainly, if you're not bitten right down in that mouthpiece, you're going to feel it a lot more. And Cotto's mouth is open. The uppercuts have been the most successful punches for Margarito. Margarito may have got this round in some judges' scorecards. I'm leaning that way. What do you think, guys? You still like Cotto.
I still like Cotto, but I'd say that's the closest round to the fight.
This is round 7, scheduled for 12, World Championship.
He's starting to use the uppercut again.
You know, they're telling him contrasting things. I hear him over there telling him the jab, and in between rounds, they come with the uppercut. Or maybe jab, and then the uppercut. There's the jab. But again, like Juan Laporte, you like the double jab and the uppercut, huh?
Yeah, no, I'd like to throw double jab, right hand, uppercut, whatever, but always finish up with that left hook.
And the left hook, if nothing else, brings you back on balance, right?
Jab, right hand, left uppercut.
That was a good left uppercut by Margarito, maybe his best punch of the fight.
But, you know, Margarito's going to start gaining some what do you call confidence, because I mean, Cotto just moving around.
And you wonder what else he's saying to him. If what did you say he said to him about his punches? He hits like a girl.
Yeah.
You wonder if you said that to him. I wouldn't be saying that. I wouldn't get the guy any more furious at me than he already is. Cotto doing a great job sliding around and pushing the man by him and getting back in position to throw punches.
Cotto's mouth open now, too. It's hard to tell whether his bottom lip is shredded or not. I think there's some blood.
Well, of course, the work rate has been furious. These guys haven't stopped punching for, I mean, even 2 seconds during the course of this fight. One guy is always throwing. Look at this. Back and forth they go. Cotto moves to his back now, skips away, but sets up and plants a punch. This guy's a great foot movement. Continues to circle to his left, then he plants and goes around to the right, but he didn't throw. There's the jab. One jab, no right hand behind it, no left hook.
I give Cotto a lot of credit for being able to fight like this, because let's face it, when he started, he was a left hook pressure fighter.
Oh, yeah.
This is kind of an impressive transformation, almost similar to what Marco Antonio Barrera did, becoming more of a boxer later in his career.
Well, this is great boxing by Cotto right now. Margarito trying to mix it up on the inside. Cotto spins him around, gets him
right there. You should start working right there.
Where's the left hook?
Don't wait for the uppercut. Throw.
Well, he did finally. Is that right eye closing up again?
It's swollen above for sure.
Don't forget, I mentioned at the outset that Margarito trained in that thin air, so he's got plenty of conditioning to go the full 12 rounds in this fight. I think the head bounced off his chin that time of Miguel Cotto. And there's one right at the bell, and Margarito just... All right, here we go to round number 8. We're in agreement about 90% of the time, so that's good, because the judges don't always agree. Why should we?
Right.
As a matter of fact, I go to the conventions, and 50% of the judges disagree. 50% on the close 10-9 rounds. So...
Okay, now's when he should use whatever. He's got the one eye.
He's got one eye. He's got to really turn it up a notch now, and if anyone can do it, he can. But that eye's a real problem right now. Cotto bounces back, trying to line up the left hook, and he gets it in there. Every time he touches it, even that shot there, grazing by, does damage to that eye.
And very smart of Cotto to keep moving to his left, because that's the side that Margarito can't see. Move to your left, throw jabs and left hooks. It's not the time for right hands now.
No, just keep moving to your left. He dances around, takes a quick shuffle step into the left with the left hook. Steve Smoger looking at the eye, and you can be sure that he's been told to make sure that that eye is okay.
And just to remind the viewers, Margarito's orbital bone on the right side was broke by Pacquiao.
Time has been called. Let's see what this is about.
Tape.
Tape.
The tape on the glove.
Robert Garcia frantically calling for uppercuts from Margarito. And there was a lens put in to Margarito's right eye as well. So that right eye has been very seriously damaged.
Yet he was cleared by all kinds of ophthalmologists. All right, time back in. Here we go as the 8th round continues. Cotto to this point has been doing a pretty good job outboxing Antonio Margarito. Margarito has damage to his eye that started back in the 3rd round. There's no quitting Margarito whatsoever. This guy is here to fight. Shuffling back and forth. Sneaky right hand lead that time by Miguel Cotto. Miguel, to me, couldn't be fighting a better fight, I don't think.
I'm with you.
I caught him with a good left hook again on top of that eye. And from now on, you're going to see the doctors in every round checking Margarito, because he can't see out of it, Steve.
I agree. In the corner, it looked like there was not even a slit of an opening.
8th round, a long way to go in a championship fight with a guy with an eye that damaged, and an opponent in Cotto that's really boxing terrifically tonight. This is a wonderful, wonderful exhibition of the best of championship boxing.
First time these two fought, Margarito stopped Cotto in the 11th, but by this point in that fight, by the 8th round, Margarito had already done a lot of damage. He has not done that kind of damage.
No, there's virtually no damage to the face of Miguel Cotto, yeah. I mean, and in that fight, he was just beaten apart by this stage in his face anyway.
Right, you can see the difference of the glove.
Maybe. That's what they're going to say. You know that, because it's not the same Margarito that fought him before. But again, I keep going back to the
Pacquiao?
Yeah, the lacing that he took from Pacquiao. I don't know how he could ever be as good. But he's game, I'll tell you that. Closing seconds of the 8th round. Cotto's just outboxed him here in the 8th, doing just what he has to do. Crowd loves it, listen.
Definitely.
While the doctors examine it. They may be stopping this fight. I don't know. Doctor doesn't like what he sees. No, he says okay. But it's coming dangerously close as the extra time was given while the doctor examined that eye. This is round 9. And Cotto, all he has to do is continue to keep touching that eye up. And he does. Left hand, right hands. And you're right, Steve. Just keep circling to the left. Just stay on top of that. Left hooks, right hand straight down the middle on top of that eye. Nice uppercut.
They hurt him too.
And Margarito lets out a scream of seemingly delight for getting hit. He's one tough guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's going to battle into. You got to kill him in there.
Yeah, shoot him. Yeah.
Well, Pacquiao almost did. And if he couldn't.
Well, Pacquiao throws like 50 punches. You know.
I'm not sure what the fans would like more. More of this because Cotto's beating Margarito up, or just stop it right now?
I don't think they want to stop the fight. They want to see Cotto.
They want to see it
go
suffer.
the way. Yeah.
Well, if this place may shake through its rafters if Cotto scores a stoppage.
Oh yeah,
a referee-induced stoppage. I mean.
Yeah, I don't want to see the doctor stop the fight. Steve Smoger's been around a long time. He's done over 150 world title fights himself, so he'll know when it's time to stop the fight. But if the doctor says that's it, that'll be it. They say only the referee can stop a fight, but I've never heard a referee overrule a doctor.
No.
So it's academic. In some states, the doctor has, in fact, in California, they can stop the fight. You were there last night. Look at that combination of punches by Miguel Cotto. And I swear, Steve, that if he keeps coming to the left, that Margarito really can't see out of that right eye at all anymore. Skips forward, landing a few shots, but he doesn't have the zip in his punches anymore either. Now look at this stuff. Oh, Cotto caught him in a nice left hook. 2 left hooks on top of that eye again. Wow! How much more can this guy take? Which I said about 20 times when he fought Pacquiao.
Well, when you got a bionic eye, you can take some work.
Right now, that bionic eye is closed. Oh! Snapped his head back with a nice stiff jab. Cotto fighting the perfect fight. Outboxing this guy. Hitting him with the heaviest shots. Showing nice defense with his hands high. Walking him back on his heels so he can't be hurt. Doing everything technically you have to do. And that slick move that he's done where he pulls him and walks by him, love it.
And he's kept his cool, too. You can get overexcited against the guy you hit so easily and go for a KO when you shouldn't. He never did that.
I'd say he's trying to go for him right now. In the very closing seconds of the 9th round, though, and Margarito, when he hears the crowd, he actually gets an adrenaline flow.
Yeah, good right hand by Margarito there. A good comeback punch.
And that ends the 9th. And the doctors will go in again. That's another Cotto round easily. I'm getting 89-79, so the question for the corner is how much more punishment do you want to allow this guy to take to that eye?
Now 2 doctors, Colonel. Barry Jordan, 2 doctors are in the ring.
2 doctors, a lawyer, 2 Indian chiefs. They had everybody in there checking this out. But they should. Remember, the main thing is a fighter's safety. All of this is wonderful to watch, but fighter safety is equally important. Now Steve Smoger gets in there to hear. That's Antonio Margarito's wife there, and of course she doesn't like what she sees at all. Antonio right up off the stool, and he's not going to let the doctor stop the fight.
They're begging for one more round, Colonel.
Yeah, they are. I think the doctor wants to stop it, and they are begging for one more round. The bell is sounded. If the doctor tells Steve Smoger to stop the fight is stopped. Time has been called. Got to see what Steve hears from the doctors.
Well, the doctors have left the ring.
Stop it. Stop it. That's it. I got it.
They're saying that's
Barry
it.
Jordan said no.
No, they're saying no more. I'm not going to let you take any more punishment. Barry Jordan, the doctor, said no, and he just gave the slash to the throat sign. No, that's it. You're done. This fight, I think, is over, folks.
We want to see a definitive sign from Smoger.
Another doctor talking away there, and Smoger just as informed.
It's over.
It's all over. The fight is ended. Margarito's eye in the long run didn't hold up. Couldn't answer the bell for the 10th round, and the doctor said no anyway. Was there anything that surprised you in the fight? Was there anything that surprised you at all in the fight? Did anything surprise you in the fight one?
No, well, I was surprised that Cotto kept the lateral movement, jumping around, and I was afraid that he was going to get tired and Margarito was going to start to come back.
You know, Steve and I thought that Cotto fought the perfect fight. Did you?
He fought beautifully. He got out of the way of punches. He slipped those, you know.
After 10 rounds,
so
the winner by TKO victory. And still, WBA Super Welterweight Champion of the World, El Boricua de Puerto Rico, Miguel Ángel